Okay, so it looks to me as well that the sound in this was lowered. Anyhow, it looks to me like the sound was lowered as this recording was going on. Cannot guarantee that that's the case, but we saw this phone being tampered with technically like today. So instead, imagine the video is there. Occasionally we come here, flip you to what's happening on the screen. But the important thing is the audio by a long shot.
That's about it. But anyway, either way, you have to stand, as I pointed out in front of big camera. Shoot from this place, plus the one to the front, and one from lamp to the back, as you get to see I showed you after this. And illuminate inside the camera then. Okay. Check on the backpack again because we left the backpack in full food space. As for that, you would see the also White House was not so concerned about right away talking that to me in the morning. Well, clearly, again, this is the coldest day, so here comes the explanation. It's beautiful, it comes in a video like this. Here comes the explanation for what I was saying before. First coldest day of the year, period. As you saw, I show screenshots and screen recordings of that on the app. It's not actually even an app, it's a video, it's a website, it's a weather channel. 6 degrees minima, I think, 6 degrees minima today, 6 degrees minima yesterday as well, and I think 8 or 9 the day before, something like that. So, third coldest day of the year, not first coldest day, but the third day that is amongst the coldest days of the year, short sequence, all with temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius. And even though it does matter at all, even now it feels almost hot in the sun, almost, not quite. Waiting until 9, 10, it wouldn't make any reasonable difference. Actually, I believe I moved, I don't know if anyone noticed how I moved the box from the front to the back to the ground. The reason is the box is visible from the outside. And I'm suspecting something similar to this, just more discreet. I mean, again, only heard partially what he said to me in the morning, but as I said, very likely nonsense for me to say. And best, that doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, it's recorded either way. And the thing is, if that's the case, again, doesn't matter. And my idea was to just linger a bit until 9:30 finishes always for the day. That's kind of the point. Where the sun becomes unbearable back here, which I tell you is them throwing drugs in the air at that time in particular. The sun doesn't have a set date, set time to every day because start to cause problems. The vehicle is just done in reverse on the highway then. As for and again, I just want to point this out. If you're crossing from the other side of the street, and the car is in the highway, which means it doesn't matter where it stops, right? Would you prefer to cross through the giant crevice in the middle? And you know there's a giant crevice there because it's the shortest point, so when I go there, it'll be much easier for me to just cross through, right? Or would you want to cross through the concrete? And again, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's a car in the highway, so it can stop at any point. Any median, so it can stop also at any point. Would you prefer to cross that point that is a fucking concrete slab, or just jump over a crevice in a cold day, potentially wet, there's potentially mud there, you can slide. So I'm just leaving that for you. And it rained like 2 days ago. Yeah, yesterday? I think it was yesterday night, something like that. So, again, you come to your own conclusions, but I'm just pointing out the facts. Talking about facts. So, coldest days is set, temperature rises up. Every day at 9:30, I start to feel weird, and if there is sun in the sky, and I told you several times, the problem is not the sun, the problem is the drugs they suffer on the other time, always at the same time as well. You know how they logged it at a specific time of 3 a.m. Another time they woke up, they woke me up during the night, the entire night. Just one point, just when I thought how happy it was that I had all of them there with me. And then after that, because after 3 a.m., they left, and there's this gigantic crevice open on the space. So imagine that's when they went there or something. As I said, I can tell you categorically I did not. It left the menu, open up the video on the thing. Period. No but. I was going to do that the previous night, which, as I said, is what a imbecile thinks themselves nefarious to do. Because, yes, it could get entangled in my memory, except it didn't. I did that the night before, and not this night. And they seem that very clear. This video goes to YouTube right now, because we're not taking any chances of putting the image with it, because of this detail. So I propose to you, for the guys who are going to expect you to take that word after all the things you see in video. The video when I said that this was entangling, and I'm going to upload that video as well, was the previous night. When I said that they left to see that. And then in this night, same thing happened. When the gap in space opened up. So when you listen to the guys who expect you to take that word for it, I want you to remember this in detail. If you want me to that's a very important detail. At any point last night I tried that. At any point that I tried the night before, and I stopped because my logic was phone barely has any charge, which is not the case for yesterday. What am I doing? Wasting more battery with something that can be done later instead of doing that now. I categorically, not a doubt in my mind, no ifs or buts, I did not do that last night. Someone entered the place as he was, deep as he was, and did that. And the fact that he also was there today, very likely was so I wouldn't be able to find evidence of it, notice evidence, clean collect data and other things, as you saw, staying there, right? So, again, just pointing that out to you. Anything from there to the word said, as I said, if I can just stay there in the back, which is initially he said today, and I'm quite sure there's going to be an explanation that's going to come with always me saying that to him, because that's how it usually goes. Then what's the problem with one box staying in the back? You cannot even see. I mean, he literally said that I could just stay there in the back and I don't have to keep mounting and dismounting. And if that's the case, then what's the problem leaving the one box there? Right? Or two, for that matter. So here's my version of events. You see which one you sounds more likely. And see which one, first off, it sounds more bizarre, first question, and which second question, which sounds more likely when you actually analyze the event. Someone went there to assault me in the middle of the night. They got access to the phone, but not to the backpack. Through that, they realized that the things they used to be on the places they thought it was no longer. most of the paints they will have access to, and not even just the only copies, because there are also other copies elsewhere. If the temple was there, as I just said, those are the guys expecting you to take their word, even though there are many, over video evidence and literally get you to see. There's a funny video of Neil deGrasse Tyson over when he says something about visual evidence, eyewitnesses being direct evidence, which they are. And, if you cannot remember something that happened a couple of seconds ago, how can you actually do that? Just something funny about commentary. In this case, it's going to be a remembrance to be a lie. And in the morning, there was a lot of talk in the box between them, which led to, in the morning, Dan got a little pissy, because if you remember the crime that he did to me back in October, it happened, and I was not short of mentioning this. I literally can play that video as a screen recording just so you see. I was saying that a couple weeks, or 1 week, passed 1 week over without them searching with stopping assaulting. In 1 week, I was able to keep the thing safe inside there, and every night, despite the drugs in the air, being able to sleep safe with the things there. Oh, check it out. This phone was stopped. As I said, comes with experience. So, suppose you have something to do in the afternoon. It's just me talking, so it's not a huge deal. You don't even need to actually transfer. You can just play from one to the other. Now I'll keep continue talking, so you can continue to essentially see on this video, because again, this started, it was recorded in this, it was stopped, and it's going to continue in this. So this video walks the entire period. You're going to see the moment when it stops, you're going to see the moment it restarts, and you can see the continuation between the continuity between one and the other, from the beginning to the end. In both. And the 3 videos are going to stay on this, then they're going to be 3 videos on the other one. As I said. And it's beautiful, all those things, people talk to you about virtue, and that's not waste after all, right? The one thing that was valuable throughout this, the thing that I can guarantee this and shit because it's the least important one. So, 46:21, 46:29 is when it starts. So, 8 seconds. 8 seconds for this one. I did drain it. Hardly a huge surprise. The important thing is not that though. A couple other things that I just saw. First off, see this. I noticed this yesterday. See this cut here? This straight cut? Yeah. Needless to say, the cats don't have any feasible tool to make this straight cut here. It's done by knife. Okay, notice you don't see any puncture, anything else. Nothing else I'm doing it now. But since I made it now, no puncture, just a straight line cut. This was done by the cutters. Okay. I have confirmation of them assaulting me last night, and I think that's done in a minute. And just, I ain't gonna do that. And again, they could have just closed that thing and honestly, or turned off the phone, and I probably wouldn't be that much the wiser. In fact, they turned off the phone. I probably wouldn't even notice something happened. Instead, they did that and also interrupted the previous video. So I'm not gonna repeat anything. I don't need to. This phone is already watching. Oh, they shut that phone down again. Perfect. So now it's 2. Now it's 2 to show. I'm gonna also show to you in detail now in the shade so it gets a bit better. Alright, turning on immediately as well, as you can see. No need to be pushing out pipe. Only once, so bypass the crime, and then turn it on. Very important. So, and since you seem to be one of the important ones, I suppose in the same video, you're going to listen to me saying that the same criminals that expect you to take their word for it decided to transpose what happened in one night to the next night and interrupt the video not once but twice. Now, the twice is the actually important one because the first one you could generally say just died of battery, but the second one, the phone turned off immediately, and that was filmed as well. So, that is that. And as I said, this video never stops. Now it's 16 minutes and 26 seconds, which means you got to listen to me talking, then a glance of me talking again, when interrupted for the second time, and then me finishing the talk now, all in this video. And you can match that to this one. So, as I said, for the criminals who think they always can steal their own eyes for their word, even though there are many, transposing what happened in one night to the other night, because they said there was no doubt in my mind that this phone was recording audio last night, or video apparently, when I passed out. But even then, it could never be on the directory that was open, period. And even if it showed to you, if you try to open through the camera, it doesn't actually ask the password right away. And you go back, it goes back to the camera, it doesn't go back to the directory. And the only way to enter the directory is with the password. Which means that I would have to have opened that, which means that I would have to have been awake, saw that the video stopped, and decided to open that through the folder. And why would I do that? Just look for a second. The video stopped randomly. Like, you went into,
pause to say that, not pause, but I have to say, feeling so much that I'm feeling pretty much out of control. The same parts of the episode, small doses, but maybe the hits are drugs, except for the exposed to nothing that much. I don't want to do the thing that the point of chips yelling just makes me freak out. Like you saw, that's not the case in the hardest around, and they are
in between two cameras.
They are blowing from the front, I think, and gonna go that too. Like I could just
because you also can get the camera from lamp in the back, as I've shown you before. You can see the red of the infrared in one of those videos. And there's green. There's a green as well. Yeah, I remember there was a green at some point, but I'm quite sure you also can see the red of the infrared. I don't remember, but you see the video, not the green. Now you can see a light from that. Okay. And with that, keep in mind so sorry I got distracted. Probably something being distracted going on me. I'm not gonna repeat everything. It's recorded on this phone. I'm gonna play from this to this, so I get to listen and cross-check the moment that they interrupted it. So this is the version of the event as I'm telling you, and you say which one makes more sense, which one's more bizarre first, and which one makes more sense. Whatever crap they come up with, and keep in mind, they'll have ample time because you'll be listening to that at this point, right? I'm just making it up with the recent information I have right now, so what happened in the middle of the night. Someone went actually saw me during the night. Didn't know about the phone. No, this phone wasn't recording, which I think I didn't. Don't know anything about the other phone, apparently, because they must boy, do you ever watch cartoons? Yeah, I mean, doesn't it? Just think for a second. It's a mixture of morality, no qualm, and the bizarre crimes like animal cruelty and the reason just make people hate you for no reason. Again, take it with I say with a grain of salt. I know what you're actually going to be thinking. Again, it takes a very special type of criminal to actually take their own victims at face value what they say about them. So, more power to it, everything's going to work. As you said, unfortunately, it's the cost of listening to it reliably. You can try down the little guy. You can learn how to be 100% true as it's covered the past. And unlike them, we run to the bucket. But what happened? Went in the middle of the night, tried to put this one was in cost, you know about the little guy. Did something on it. Because even if they knew the old passwords, that they would have means of changing things, left it there for me to see, or rather for me to comment to you. And this is the important part. As I said, this is actually the key part for you to remember. The fact that what they are doing in a way as to make it look like what happened last night actually happened this night. Again, keep in mind, what happened 2 nights ago actually happened last night. That's a major deal. This is something that I'm quite sure that they're going to see as the most trivial thing, and this is essentially the main point. We were shown several times they intend to deceive, because you don't require the actual full-blown action for that fact. What you see is that if they could, they would deceive and lie. And again, those are millions of criminals. I'm not talking about one guy in the dark of the night. So yesterday in the mall, the sheer scale of this. Sheer numbers, right? And you see through this whole situation, or several others, the sheer amount of attempts to accomplish nothing concrete. They're not exposing anything. They just attempt into the sea. Now again, it doesn't take a genius. You could just close the thing, shut down the phone, whatever. Actually, because the way that things happen in the morning, which was also there, I'm going to get that as well, I probably didn't notice that the phone had been tampered with if that even just shut down, which it clearly do because it had a password for it, right? So instead of even shutting down the phone, this motorbike back there disappeared. It's done. Instead of being shut down the phone, they decided to open up the directory and leave it in the password phase, except you can only enter the directory if you already have the password, period. There's no ways about it. I literally showed you the only other way that I can think of, which is from the camera. And if that was the case, we go back to the camera, not to the directory, right? It's the only way to know I open a video, because when you try to open the directory through the camera, you still ask the password. So essentially what they did was to tell me that they have the password. Now this is not intention. The intention clearly was to transpose one night to another night, which is why, as I said, they close attention, authenticate everything, because you know that they are lying when the mouth moves. If the mouth moves and the sound comes out, you know that they're lying. That's a good hint. So, because of things like this, authenticate everything. You don't need me to say things, right? They want to accuse me of whatever. More power to them. You should listen to what they say in detail, because it's probably going to be flaws in that, because intelligence is such a level that, in my opinion, just listen to them talk and keep them talking, and then see anything for that. As a matter of fact, they are so deprived of any bearings that they're actually going to repeat the same thing about me. Right now, what I say right now. Not when I'm in a safe environment and I can think straight and I can organize things and write and put things correctly, but when they drill me every day, every hour, throughout the day. Keep that in mind. It tells everything you should know as well about that. So if that might just be seen as stupid or insensitive, I want to say that that is also not intended to deceive. They actually expect you to indeed take me and the millions of criminals in the same level, capable of same capabilities. So more power to them. And they should have all the information I say to you in advance. Keep in mind, they're listening to this now on the 11th of May, 2026. I am speculating the things that happened today, which they already know about. Now, they will be knowing what they did. There will be information that I'm saying to you right now. They will have the entire time and to actually ask that to them to come up with a counter story to that, and you see which one you think makes more sense. Not which one is more bizarre, I'll do that as well, but which one makes more sense to the fact. And after arriving there, you realize they actually didn't have the thing left. The thing that was in the shoe that is important. After it, in the morning and then passwords to other criminals. I think today actually happened twice. I don't think that there was just one criminal. I think that there was actually two or more. And there's just a hinge. Because during the night, I noticed there were several times when the cats weren't there. There's one important thing. Only Chip. But Chip is too young to do that. She's small. And although now it's a bit safer and they're taking more precautions. Because again, we didn't know that. But as I point to you. And simple things are going to me. And as I said, this is why you see the faces. Because at this conjecture, I couldn't care much less about what they have to say, to be honest. As I said to you, I think you listen to them carefully. Just make sure that you keep in mind all the faces they are involved in this, so they cannot just run away later, because they would if they could. They're going to say they have nothing to do with it, or they didn't know, and that's why you're walking out with all these faces. Kind of like a cop blocking off a story, so the guy cannot change that later. Yeah, and that's what we're saying. Just that this is this part of the crime. Before you had the absurdity, before you have proving intent, which you're kind of doing it right now as well. Right now it's more on the phase of making sure that you understand that every shit scale for everyone that chooses to be a part of this program. And so what happened there? And yeah, the explanation was there. And I may say that I was consensual, there was that interacting with me, a variety of things, which is what I'm saying to you categorically on the same day and pointing that to you as quickly as I can on YouTube, at least they cannot add the videos after, change the dates, doing anything else. In fact, you're going to have a, well, that. I mean, you have a configuration out there, you have the sky, you have the sun, you have the dates, you have the weather, you have everything. Don't need extra things of this. But as I said, I authenticate everything. The way the business shares is all the geniuses in the genius land will be able to outsmart some company or which designed to do cybersecurity, or someone else who is experienced and knowledgeable, knowing that they are trying to be lied to. It's a day that, I wouldn't have a chance. So, as I said, putting fees in the scam. What else? Well, as I pointed out, it might have happened twice, as I was saying. But even if not, which led to happen in the morning, because in the morning the abrupt nature, which this guy was talking to me, so fast, but going there directly, compare that to the other days when it didn't quite happen this way. And yep, as I say. Now, I already just had it seen that in 2 minutes, and we will. So, propose to you, and before I was just pointing that out as pointless, think for a second if you really, you still think that it is pointless to be done. Right? Think for the light of the night that happened the day before happening last night. And then think again about them trying to catch me on something that you're going to be choosing the bread or something. Again, they're dishonest because they are acting. So if they're doing something, they're being dishonest. That's what they are. And because I, again, rather naively, I would admit, did believe that how funny it didn't make any sense. I need to open up with housing. Yeah, that's from this side. half a centimeter too far from my catch, because you can see it's pretty tight. So if you move, you'll never be able to place it back on the exactly same place, matches between the bag and the tape. Which means you cannot cut the tape, but also no. You cannot remove and place it again, but also no. As I said, that's the closing we wish to back the terminal or the closing the thing. Not that I mentioned anything about that. I'm going to show you. Comment on that later. What happened or didn't. But for now, as I said, everything that I think is going to happen. Well, I would say, as of now, except for this one test alone, probably everything to check, that they did not get access to the backpack. To me. I mean, at this point, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I say that even if they had, they would have found the fucking phone again. So, once again, you have at least audio recording. So, unfortunately, it's in video. So, for what it's worth, nothing's perfect. So, you're not expecting that. Not gonna lie. Of them assaulting me in the middle of the night. And given the geniuses, probably, I imagine that they said something. So, you also probably have a voice sample. Just based on average intelligence. You know. Those would be the same criminals you saw from the plastic bags. They are still there and also in here. So, now, I have another thing. So someone looking at me as I was opening the bags, as I was closing the things. I don't doubt that he was glancing at it and seeing what was moving in and out for sure. But I didn't see it actually paying close attention. I could have closed everything inside before leaving out anyways, right? So there wasn't anything open out to begin with, but I could. And this is important. Also, there was a point in the middle of the night when I definitely couldn't find this little guy, so I can guarantee to you that there was some criminal there. There you have it. It was definitely assaulted me last night. I'm gonna report that done immediately, put down YouTube, this video on YouTube right now, especially the one after the continuation from this with the other one. Actually, I'm gonna put down just that one because again, this is just me talking, how much else to see, what you see. It's gonna be online as well, but the important one is the explanation one. And that's the one uninterrupted with that phone. And cannot place the time. The weird things happening throughout the night. They woke me up several times through the night. I tell you this much. Most of them I just ignore. There was even one time, and this is just to put you have some perspective of who is you're dealing with. I felt actual happiness when I have like them on me, like they was laying on me, and I just remember they were just hugging them, and I felt genuinely happy, even if a little bit. Remember what I mentioned before? I was even thinking at some point something on the lines of, how their attitude matters as legally as the smiles. But when it goes down to people's reaction to it, it matters a huge deal, right? Even that they seem to have been using the argument, I suppose they would understand where it was coming to them. So, except in my case, funny enough, in my case, the smile is defiant. It's to say that you saw how they sing as a personal insult every time that I say things like what I just said, or smile or anything else. They see that as a personal affront to them. Which, by the way, again, textbook on how to be hated by an entire planet. And just, although to be fair, ask them or cruelty to them after the things that they did to her alone, like to these days, using narcotics no less. So you have everybody, whoever, more power to them. Whatever they think is gonna apply. Now we just think the face and appreciate and all of them know, by the way. Like, I think that the individuals in the mall you see reacting to what I say, literally in the mall, don't know what I'm saying. So when they reacted to what I said, they just heard that part. The rest is invisible to them. The words are invisible. Please do make that joke, because, I mean, what else you expect people to believe, right? So, as I said, and as you could clearly see, being the only one who didn't want to be there, mas back to which man? The fact is, I generally believe, but they seem to take it as a personal front every time that I feel those things. So keep that in mind. That's going to be very important for you. And as far as the rest goes, we're going to make sure two things. One, now we're going to upload this. We're going to transfer something from the phones, but I think better than that, we're going to make sure that all the videos with her mom, and all the other cats stay online in YouTube, not just online. And you can just go video by video and see which ones. Obviously, only the ones in here before, because they'll never take her away. There's no point. It's just going to expose her to those criminals. And although, again, I'll do that myself, I wouldn't do that to expose her. Again, take from that what you will. Because not only they would, but they could target them, but as you see, based on their own actions, they did target them, and they would, consequently, obviously, target them to try to get you me. Again, right in the manual. And one atrocity at a time. And keep that in mind. As for the other ones, and at the end of the day, if you do things right, then you should say to you won't need to go for the actual core criminals. All the other ones you just saw yesterday, all the other ones who are, with their own choice, involved in this, would go after them themselves, because, well, again, as I said, but just look what the place there is. Well, he's talking to you by any chance of imagination. The one time when they get together is sort of practice. So, those guys didn't look half poor. As far as the society goes, none. So, did I force them to say the things that they say there in front of you? Did I force them to be doing the things that they'll do imposing for you? Did I force them to put children involved in this? Did I not do the opposite, in fact? All their actions are their own. But, unless these actions are their own. But I can tell you that they know about these actions. So, all the actions are shared between the criminals. I mean, the knowledge about them. They know what's happening, is what I'm saying. If you have a guy just raping someone and they're posting that in YouTube, right, or killing someone, or doing some hideous crime, right? They weren't just killing because it's kind of a finite thing. I want something more repetitive. Would you want to, share that yourself, or reshare that? Or posting that one, you want to share the post, or would you, want nothing to do with it at the very least? That can just put leading up to you where you decide these things more sense. So, again, they think they can just peace out and detach themselves from this, and more power to what they think is going to happen, as I said yesterday in the mall. When they threw something on her, she didn't pull yet, by the way. So, that the thing that you saw happening 3 times in the mall, not once so far, or even yesterday, for that matter. She slept the entire time with me inside. Only the first night, the night that they took her mother, is the night that she put me inside, which now I know is true. By the way, she didn't even drink milk by then. It was still her food. So her food habits changed drastically. And then you have this thing that was never she did before as a kitten. I never saw her. She started doing it. And then stopped, and then it started again. But it only happens on the times when it's convenient for the criminals, like when I'm about to eat my food. But that's okay, though, because it's unrelated, right? Just like all the faces there doing commentary and specific phrasing for this crime is unrelated to this crime. Yeah, more power to them. This YouTube right now, I'm going to shut out then to make sure that she's able to see it. But I just want to place the cherries on the commentaries about cops and legal things that are going to literally listen to a crime of this magnitude and then try to act against the victim, which, again, some of them seem to also be the case, which, and I'm not even saying it's impossible. What I'm saying is, yeah, and you get to see that too. Imagine how cute that's going to be, particularly for the higher politicians having to actually still have a country to present to the rest of the world that law exists. And those are the criminals, those are the places, those are all real things. Again, none of those things are arbitrary, imaginary, fictitious. Everything is what you see by individuals doing the things as they happen. I literally say that in every single video, every single point. Those things happen in several cities, from my home in Italy to, which I don't know how much you could say was my home at that point, because all the atrocities being done there. Might just suggest it might have something to do with this thing, because I remember seeing this thing over there. I didn't know what this was supposed to be, and there wasn't that when I got here. So again, if you remember, holding here, you are repeatedly in front of that camera, which has a light on, and in front of this one, period. Okay? And I was looking at that entire night. Every time I woke up, I was kind of half awake, half asleep, with the kittens on top of me. And I just had. Plus, you got to listen to the interactions. Again, the thing about being what they're going to be known for, and also just stupid, which is jaw-dropping. Again, most individuals with this level of war crimes wouldn't have the victims being just hounded on the stupidity. Also, can you have anyone in the more quintessential stalking position than this? Just for framing. And so you can see how the framing is exactly. That one, and then I'm going to read the issue there. Not a face, quote unquote. Not to be unattached to this. So, that's the framing. Just another one, right? And from there, we play there. Oh, I'm going to upload this one immediately. I want that on the safe side. Call Tanya, play from one to the other, and then upload the other one as well. Now, this is less related than the other thing, but too bad. So what is it? There's one of each, by the way. The one with the plate hanging. It is a plate that's hanging. PMU 2746. It's unlawful to have the thing not properly placed. Although since I only have to have it in the back. I don't know how the law works for front. From the back, but I don't know where she was thinking that. Okay, 906. She filmed on the little guy. Now it's 12:18 p.m. on 29:15. I know once later on in here, of the masterminds are going to mastermind things there for the 1 or 2 minutes that I'm going to say. thinking that I could never imagine such an obvious thing being done by the dumb criminals in there. But then again, as the cop said, you know, criminals are not the most smart sort. Yeah, he phrases that in a better way. I don't remember which one it was. One of those YouTube cops. Oh, cops used to be on YouTube. There he is. One final thing that I want to say, just remember now, which is to walk you through the morning as well. It's going to be renamed. Oh yeah, Louis position is left. It's super fast. started roughly when the video finished uploading that. Moved out the second appointed to you, didn't it? I use telepathy to know how telepathy works, in case you didn't know. So, just took time to stop the video and camera on this. Just put your whole things together with case. 51 minutes, maybe 51 minutes and 30 seconds.
Baby, I want to do it for myself, but the issue is someone is raining the baby. Well, it seems like I arrived very close to the time on the end because it's a 51-minute video, and that was a 51-minute video, so the video must have ended in the past 10 seconds. Is that it? No. Again. Hey baby, I was looking for you. Your food is there. I would love for you to entertain Chip for a second so I can finish building that. It has been a nightmare. They've been throwing all sorts of drugs on me as I was trying to build the thing. Between cold drugs, almost importantly, again, the psychological ones. So it's been very difficult to keep myself together as they have been doing this. Still don't know how I'm going to build the outer wall. Still don't know how I'm going to build the door that is. Still don't know if the thing inside is going to work. Found some extra board. There was this guy showing up in front there as I was closing it to throw some. So my cat loves. I honestly don't mind eating because it's been so long, but you need to change your habits. So I'm gonna take the food to stay. Yeah, it's coming. Ah, yeah, if I remember right, the food is covered in two. So be careful with that. Again, a way to rejiggle criminals and keep the cats away. It's a double Uzi. So it's called the whenever criminals have a disgusting crime in mind, and I would dare say it doesn't please the Almighty. Because in a way, if they have a match with this and you can establish that match with this, you would reach children to point your shit and back. After all, faith and shit is for the shit. On the other hand, if the cats themselves would want nothing to do with it because the smell kind of transpires because the food is inside while the smell is outside. One of those is closer to the cats. They are also outside of the bag. Outside of the bag is the same though. Chip has been crying the entire time, and I don't have anything to give to her. I didn't went to the mall, so I didn't have a box to prepare her house. But I also have built a house for her as a build for my cat. We did not get to buy the new bag as well for me. So yes, this bag also is covered in prison. And that's just another crime like you did to me, like you did to Ben, who's sitting right now, or to the rest. And wouldn't be different than any other day. But they still try to, again, feeling bad about what I just said, they were trying to reduce the death from me, even though it's their own crime. Yeah, certain people just don't get certain things, and that's okay. So all crimes are nothing. So, pointed F, point X, the 2% alarm on the battery. Squeeze it away before I got the chance to screenshot that one. This is going to the other bag that's out of here. And also on top, yeah, the little guy. No, the little guy is already in. It's just a box. A box that she wants, but it can come later. That's relevant. Oh no, some of it is the baby's milk. Still can carry weight. All this thing is lighter than I remembered. I would say that I still can carry weight. That's a better explanation. I'm not feeling that exhausted, but I am feeling something for sure. It's not so much exhaustion that I'm feeling, it's despair. So those are the drugs that I'm throwing out. This is how it looks. Again, as I said, I found a couple extra boards. It doesn't look all that bad, given that it's just 2 bags going in. The 2 bags are gonna found the closure there. It's not the worst. This is a poopy bag because, as you see, there's gonna be another bag on top of it, moving everything away from me and away from the criminal if this somehow happens again. Plus, again, there's going to be a lot of precautions, but it's very unlikely. Very unlikely doesn't mean possible, mind you, and I don't think that to be the case, but it is unlikely, given that that's the case. So I want to point out another thing. And as I said, the same thing as what I said to me. Well, criminal custody established that I'll be a fraud for all the things that I said. Not to be true, right? Because it's not having any fact, because it's not halfway through. Same thing for here. Tomorrow, again, I flipped again the phone and it was saying 2% charge. Fortunately, just a catch thing, because the notification is not a now notification. It doesn't show up now there, but I am telling you there is 2% charge on that. There was this weird criminal that was around here when I came here, and this now is here, even though that before was there. And as soon as I arrive here with the other phone, he runs away. You can even see the screenshots on the phone. This is the 4th time I come to pee since I started that. So having an idea of the sheer amount of drugs that they're throwing on me, 4 times a pee amount of drugs on me, on a time span of what, little more than 1 hour, very little more than 1 hour. So that much, okay? And his actual pee, Now the amount of the pee will be small, but nonetheless, so keep that in mind. Baby, no. Do you know what that is? What? Don't try to jump on it. Baby, it has food in the back. What is fucking with God knows what there? Okay, Mama Cat, enough is enough. You're not gonna just only eat and do nothing else. Baby. Same thing that I see so many times as I teach you reading that. Maybe.